The world was already in ruins. Amid the smoke and ashes, one warrior refused to fall. He knelt in a blood-soaked clearing, surrounded by the mangled corpses of monstrous wolves. The air reeked of iron and fire. This wasn't a fight to win, it was a struggle just to keep breathing. With a shaky breath, he pushed himself up, every movement a war against his own body. A crimson aura flickered to life around him, his blade pulsing with a dull, furious glow. He was battered, bleeding, and barely standing, but not defeated. Then came the sound. Low growls from the burning forest's edge. 2 more wolves emerged from the smoke, eyes glowing with a vicious purple light. Their snarls rippled through the silence as they stalked forward, eager to tear apart the last survivor. He didn't back down. He stared right into their glowing eyes, his own blazing gold in defiance. Blood streaked his face, his body trembling, but his stance never wavered. His voice cut through the air like steel. "Who's next?" The beasts lunged. A surge of dark energy erupted around him as he moved, faster than the eye could follow. The first wolf's leap met nothing but air as he sidestepped, blade already swinging toward the second. The sword flashed red, slicing through the creature's open maw. The sound was brutal, steel against bone, followed by an explosion of blood that painted the ground crimson once more. But there was no time to breathe. The second wolf was already upon him, claws tearing into his back, teeth sinking deep into his arm. Pain ripped through him. His body faltered, his grip slipping. The beast roared, lifting him effortlessly and flinging him across the clearing. He hit the ground hard, the impact echoing through the dead woods. Dust and blood filled the air as he tumbled to a stop, motionless for a moment. The wolf raised its head and howled, triumphant against the burning sky. It thought the battle was done. But then, through the haze and pain, the warrior moved. Slowly, unsteadily. He pushed himself up, eyes still glowing gold. The fight wasn't over. Not yet. He forces himself back to his feet, his arm shredded and bleeding. The sword trembles in his grip as he lifts it for one final strike. Every drop of strength left in him burns out in that desperate motion, a single, brutal swing. Steel slices through flesh. The sound is sharp and final. The last wolf collapses. For a moment, there's only silence. He stands there, chest heaving, his sword buried in the ground to keep himself upright. The fight is over. His eyes drift to the small silver bell tied around his wrist. He manages a faint whisper, "Thanks." But as his gaze sweeps over the carnage, a dark thought settles in. This battle didn't prove him right, it proved her right. The fear she carried, it was real all along. And with that truth, the fire inside him fades. There's nothing left to fight for. Nothing left to hold on to. His world drowns in red. Then, light. A bright, sunlit hall replaces the blood and smoke. Laughter echoes through the grand corridors of an academy. A young man with messy brown hair throws his arms in the air, shouting in triumph. This is Ian Perkis, a third-year swordsmanship student, and right now, he's celebrating like he just conquered the world. Midterms are finally over, he yells, grinning ear to ear. I actually survived. Across from him, a girl with long, dark hair crosses her arms, unimpressed. Celine Haster, a second-year knight, gives him a flat stare. Relax, Ian. It's just midterms, she says. You still have the rest of your exams to fail. Before Ian can respond, another student laughs and slaps him on the back. Leto Einstein, also a third year and Ian's closest friend, jumps in. Come on, Celine, give him a break. He's just happy he didn't die of stress this time. Ian grins proudly. See? At least someone appreciates my effort. Sure, my swordsmanship isn't great, but my footwork and horse riding totally saved me. Leto smirks. Right. With those skills, you'll make an excellent town guard after graduation. Ian gasps dramatically. Wow. Such support. Truly inspiring. He stretches with a groan. You two are lucky. Every test feels like it takes years off my life. Leto just shrugs. What did you expect? We're in the best academy in the Empire. It's not supposed to be easy. Ian narrows his eyes. Yeah, thanks for stating the obvious. Celine cuts in immediately. You're the one who started it. Their playful banter bounces through the empty hallway, just another normal night for the trio. Eventually, Celine sighs and takes charge. Enough. We've got practical swordsmanship first thing tomorrow. If you're late, you'll lose points again. Go home and rest. Ian groans. Who schedules a combat class right after exams? They all laugh, say their goodbyes, and head their separate ways. Back in his dorm, Ian exhales deeply as he tosses his books aside. Never again, he mutters. I'm never signing up for a morning class again. He collapses into bed, mumbling one last, never, ever, before drifting off to sleep. But his rest is anything but peaceful. In his dreams, darkness returns, thick and suffocating. The air hums with the same dread as before. A single word echoes through the void. Delphirum. And suddenly, the world burns once more. A battlefield, shattered, crimson, and crawling with death. The battlefield stretches endlessly beneath a blood-red sky. Bodies lie scattered among shattered blades, the ground soaked with what remains of countless fallen warriors. And there, sitting in the center of it all, is him. The same warrior from before. A lone crow perches beside him, its dark feathers glinting faintly in the dying light. He stares out across the ruins, silent, his eyes hollow, empty of everything except the weight of survival. After a long moment, he rises. His cloak, torn and stained with blood, trails behind him as he begins to walk, one man in a world that has already ended. Then, like a whisper in the smoke, the warning comes again. This time, it's louder. Urgent. Delphirum is coming. His head snaps up. His eyes ignite with that same burning golden light. He's no longer just a man. No longer the student we saw in the academy. He's the warrior once more, and deep down, he knows what he must do. He charges forward into the storm of battle, flames and lightning lighting the sky around him. Fireballs explode, chaos reigns, and yet he runs toward it all, toward the threat that must be stopped at any cost. A sharp gasp cuts through the darkness. Ian jolts awake, drenched in sweat, his chest rising and falling as if he's just escaped death itself. The dream still clings to him, too vivid, too real. He grips the edge of his bed, his heart racing. What was that? He mutters, trying to steady his breath. The name from his nightmare echoes in his mind. Delphirum. He frowns. Wait, isn't that some old myth? Shaking his head, he rubs his temples. It's probably nothing. Maybe just the result of staying up too late, or that extra drink with Leto last night. But then, something on his desk catches his eye. Hey! The calendar looks off. The date isn't right. And beside it, a letter. It's sealed with a strange wax emblem he doesn't recognize. He blinks, confused. He doesn't remember anyone leaving this here. Curiosity wins. He breaks the seal. Inside is a letter written in elegant, flowing script, definitely a woman's handwriting. He tilts his head, half joking with himself. Wait a sec, could this be? No way. His eyes widen as an absurd thought hits him. Is this a love letter? A grin spreads across his face as his imagination takes off. He starts picturing every possible admirer, maybe that one girl from the swordsmanship class? Or the librarian with the shy smile. He hums happily to himself. He knows he's already running late for class, but how could he not read this first? He unfolds the letter and starts to read. At first, it sounds poetic, something about fairy tales, dreams, and names written in forgotten books. He nods, impressed. Nice handwriting, he murmurs. But then, certain words start to stand out. Fiancé. Hunting festival. Death. Nights. Practical class. His brow furrows. What? The tone shifts, beautiful words giving way to cryptic warnings. Each sentence makes less sense than the last. Ian's grin fades into a deadpan stare. He clicks his tongue in irritation. TCH. I've been pranked. He scans the calendar again, realizing the dates don't even match. Whoever did this didn't bother being convincing. If you're gonna pull a joke, he mutters, at least do it properly. He reaches the final line of the letter, which reads like something straight out of a bad prophecy. If the future isn't protected, the world will fall. Ian sighs, dragging a hand down his face. Seriously? That's it? What a letdown. He crumples the paper, tossing it aside with a groan. First a nightmare, now this nonsense. What a morning. He stretches, deciding to forget the whole thing. Just another weird start to another normal day. Or so he thinks. Ian shakes his head, scoffing at himself. A love letter? Yeah, right. Who'd even bother writing one to me? With that, he tosses the crumpled letter into the trash and grabs his bag, heading out the door. The morning sun spills over the academy grounds as he walks toward class. Everything seems normal, until he starts noticing the whispers. Be careful, someone murmurs. If you make eye contact, he'll talk to us. Isn't that the guy from the rumors? The whispers follow him like a shadow. His pace slows. A bead of sweat slides down his cheek. Everyone's staring. Watching. He glances down, then freezes. There's an axe hanging from his belt. What the? His eyes widen, heart pounding. Why do I have this? Panic starts to creep in. He scans the crowd, desperate for something familiar, and then he spots them. Leto and Celine. Relief floods him. Hey! Leto! Celine! He calls out, waving. But instead of waving back, both of them stiffen. Celine quickly turns her back, pretending not to hear. Leto nervously tilts his head toward the sky. Wow, nice weather today. Wire, Celine stammers, following his lead. Leto leans closer, whispering urgently, just ignore him. Act like you don't know him. Ian blinks, completely confused. What are you two doing? He hurries up to them, frustration bubbling up. Hey! Are you even listening to me? Leto flinches and turns around. Hold on. Wait a second. He circles Ian, inspecting him from every angle like he's some sort of rare creature. Something's off, he mutters. You look different. Your eyes, they're emptier than usual. Ian groans. I'm not in the mood for jokes, Leto. Suddenly, Leto grabs him by the shoulders, his face lighting up with relief. Ian, you're back. The evil spirit that possessed you, it's finally gone. Ian blinks in disbelief. Evil, what? Leto pushes his face away with a disgusted expression. Don't get too close. You've been acting possessed all week. Ian just stares. All week. Celine stomps her foot, glaring. Don't tell me you don't remember, she snaps. You've been treating us like servants for days. Our reputation's in ruins, you jerk. She folds her arms, muttering through gritted teeth, if you hadn't threatened us with that axe, we'd have dragged you to an exorcist. Ian stiffens. Wait, axe. His gaze drops. The weapon gleams faintly at his waist, the same axe everyone's been staring at. He feels the color drain from his face. You mean, this one? Both Celine and Leto flinch, stepping back. W.O. Just keep it away from us. Leto blurts out, waving his hands defensively. I'm getting flashbacks already. Ian's mind spins. Possessed? Him? That's impossible, right? But then, flashes. A blue aura. His own reflection, cloaked in power that wasn't his. That nightmare. That battlefield. Could it all be connected? He forces a shaky laugh. Well, whatever it was, at least it's gone now, right? Celine exhales, relieved. Yeah. Thank the gods it's over, before another incident happened. Incident? Ian asks warily. Wait, what incident? Leto glances at him, his expression grim. You really don't remember? Ian shakes his head. Leto crosses his arms, letting out a low whistle. Well, you didn't just cause trouble this time. He pauses, letting the words sink in. You beat the top student of the second years. Ian freezes, his blood running cold. Ian's blood runs cold. The top student of the second years, the youngest aura user in the entire academy, the one everyone calls the monster swordswoman. A name flashes in his mind like a nightmare. Syria Yadina. His stomach drops. Wait. I beat her? You're joking, right? Celine just stares back, completely unamused. Why are you so shocked? You hospitalized her. For an entire week. Ian's face drains of color. What kind of evil spirit could even do that? He rubs his temples, trying to process. Okay, but what am I supposed to do now? Celine sighs, exasperated. I'm talking about swordsmanship class, genius. She pauses, and delivers the blow that nearly stops his heart. You're facing her again today. Time stops. The world around him fades into silence. And then, he sees her. A flash of silver hair glinting in the sun, her sharp gaze locked on him from across the training grounds. Reality hits him like a hammer. His mind screams the words he can't even say aloud. I'm what? Flashback. The memory hits like lightning. Syria lies sprawled across the ground, her sword slipping from her fingers. Her eyes are wide, stunned beyond belief. Before that day, Ian had never lasted more than 10 seconds against her. But now, she's the one on the floor. And the man standing over her isn't the Ian we know. His eyes glow a vicious gold, his entire body surrounded by a crimson aura that pulses with raw power. His voice cuts through the silence, cold, merciless. The only unbelievable thing here, he says, is your mediocre swordsmanship. Before anyone can react, he drives a brutal kick straight into her chest. The impact echoes across the arena. Syria gasps, pain flashing across her face as she's hurled backward, crashing hard against the floor. He didn't even use his blade. Just sheer, overwhelming force. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Students watch in stunned silence as he moves, effortless, precise, deadly. Every strike, every parry, every movement is beyond anything Ian has ever shown before. His toying with her. Whispers break out among the onlookers. Isn't Syria undefeated? Even against fourth years. Did Ian just beat her? The warrior, this other version of him, stands tall over her fallen form. His tone drips with mockery. Hey, he says, looking down at her, aren't you even a little suspicious? He points his blade toward her trembling hand. You charged at every little opening I gave you. Never even realized they were traps. His golden eyes burn with a cruel confidence. And then, snap. We're back to the present. The cold, ruthless warrior is gone, replaced by a very terrified Ian Purkis, standing in the middle of the academy grounds, pale and shaking. Out of everyone, he mutters under his breath, why her? Why did it have to be someone from my class? If it were anyone else, he might have had a chance. But her? The academy's prodigy? The unbeatable Syria Yadina? He's doomed. Across the training field, Syria stands with her sword drawn, eyes blazing with fierce blue light. Every ounce of her focus is locked on him. The students around them whisper excitedly. Just give up already, Ian. She won't let this go. Not after what happened last time. This isn't about grades anymore, this is personal. The instructor steps forward, raising his hand. Quiet, everyone, he commands. This duel counts as your practical class for today. Your performance will determine your grades. Ian gulps. His hands tremble. His mind is a storm of panic. Inside, he curses the so-called evil spirit that got him into this mess in the first place. Ian can't stop cursing the so-called evil spirit that possessed him. If that thing was powerful enough to beat Syria, couldn't it at least have handled the aftermath before disappearing? Now he's stuck dealing with the mess. He sighs, trying to calm himself. Okay. Think, Ian. Syria's the top student. Losing a few points won't hurt her. But if I fail this class, I'll be jobless. I'll have to move back in with my parents. The thought alone sends a chill down his spine. All right, he mutters, trying to focus. New plan. I just need to survive the timer. 10 minutes. That's it. I can handle. His thought cuts off. The signal to start echoes across the arena. And Syria is already on him. She moves like lightning, her blade flashing in the sunlight. Ian barely manages to raise his sword in time. Each strike sends shockwaves up his arms as he scrambles backward, completely overwhelmed. His plan doesn't even last 10 seconds. Syria's silver hair whips through the air as she brings her sword down in a devastating arc. He blocks, barely, but before he can even catch his breath, she spins and drives a vicious kick straight into his head. He crashes to the ground, vision spinning. Forget 10 minutes. I'll be lucky to last one. Syria stands over him, calm and composed. My turn, she says flatly. He groans, dragging himself up. He knows giving up isn't an option. Syria wouldn't accept that, not after what happened last week. Fine, he mutters, raising his blade. Let's do this. He charges forward, desperate to at least try. But as he moves, something feels different. His body. His movements. They're lighter. Faster. Sharper. It's like his muscles remember something he doesn't. A fight he's never consciously had. What happened to me that week? Still, Syria's on another level. Her eyes flare with focus, and in an instant, her blade ignites with a faint purple glow. She sidesteps his attack effortlessly and counters with a clean strike that knocks him straight off balance. He drops to one knee, gasping. So much for improvement. Syria's voice is cold, biting. Did you show me that opening on purpose? She asks. You seemed so confident last week, when you humiliated me. The words sting. Not just for her. For him too. Ian clenches his fists. I'm so done hearing about last week, he shouts, his voice cracking with frustration. If I hear it one more time, I swear I'll lose my mind. Syria's composure snaps. You think you're the victim here? She screams. Because of you, I've been a joke for an entire week. Her aura explodes, violet energy rippling through the air. Her silver hair flares like fire as she charges at him again, eyes burning with pure fury. But this time, something in Ian clicks. Her movements, once impossible to follow, now feel slower. Predictable. His reflexes are sharper, his instincts clearer. He meets her strikes head-on. He blocks one, then another, sliding backward across the floor under the sheer force of her attacks. His hands ache, but he's still standing. She doesn't let up. Every swing feels like a storm, every strike sharper than the last. But Ian realizes something. She's not just attacking him. She's testing him. And somehow, he's keeping up. Still, that voice, the other version of him, echoes faintly in the back of his mind. Why are you wasting energy? You're moving too much. Don't rush in just because you see an opening. It's a trap. He grits his teeth. Right, that's what he said. Syria lowers her sword slightly, glaring at him through the crackling aura. Isn't that what you told me last week? She says coldly. The air between them grows heavy, two rivals standing at the edge of another collision neither fully understands. I asked for this rematch, Syria says, her tone sharp. Then she adds the words that flip everything on its head. But you're doing awful. Ian, panting and trembling, feels something snap inside him. And then, something else awakens. A slow, dangerous smirk creeps across his face. His eyes narrow, sharp and focused. So that's how it is, he thinks. He finally understands. His strength may have grown, but Syria isn't the same as before, either. She's changed. Last week's humiliation, and the words from his other self, they've stuck with her. She's overthinking every strike, second-guessing every move. And that is her weakness. The rhythm of the fight shifts. Their wooden swords collide again and again, each impact ringing through the arena like thunder. Ian's not just defending anymore. He's matching her, strike for strike, step for step. He parries another heavy blow, his stance steady, his expression calm and resolute. All right, he tells himself. We've fought evenly long enough. If I stop here, she won't have anything to complain about. But Syria isn't backing down. Not this time. A grin spreads across her face, wild, fierce, almost thrilled. Good, she says, voice ringing with excitement. Now that you're finally serious. Her aura flares, violet energy crackling around her. It's time I show you what I can do. She leaps high into the air, blade raised overhead. The sunlight catches her sword as it comes crashing down, a strike meant to end everything. Ian sees it. There it is. He braces himself, but doesn't dodge. Instead, he takes the hit head-on. The blade slams against him with crushing force, sending him sprawling across the ground. The professor's voice cuts through the tension. 5 seconds. If he doesn't stand, Syria wins. Flat on his back, Ian stares up at the sky, breath ragged. This is ridiculous, he thinks. The most unbelievable day of my life. Still, there's a faint sense of relief. At least I made things right. Maybe now I can just go back to being normal. But Syria isn't fooled. You took that hit on purpose, she says coldly, stepping closer. Don't think you can end it like that. The count hits 3. Her tone hardens. If you throw this match, I'll just challenge you again. And again. I don't care if you skip every class from now on, I won't stop until you feel the same humiliation I did. Ian's eyes widen. She's serious. He clenches his fists. He's trapped. With a groan, he forces himself up onto one knee, glaring at her in disbelief. Are you seriously treating me like your archenemy just because I messed with you for 1 week? The professor's voice cuts in again. Last chance, Ian. Do you want to forfeit? Ian exhales slowly. His trembling stops. His gaze sharpens. No, he says, voice steady. I can still go on. The professor nods. Then the duel continues. Syria smirks, satisfied. This is how it should be. No easy outs. And Ian, he feels something shift. A grin spreads across his face. The fear is gone. The hesitation, gone. The red aura erupts back to life, swirling around him like a storm. His golden eyes ignite once more, burning with lethal intent. He straightens, his voice low, cold, and certain. I'm going to rip that shitty pride of yours to pieces again today. Syria's expression hardens. She tightens her grip on her sword, then charges. Her aura explodes outward, the ground cracking beneath her feet. She drives her blade forward with every ounce of strength she has left, a single, decisive strike meant to finish him. But Ian doesn't flinch. His gaze follows every motion, every shift in her stance. He's not reacting anymore. He's anticipating. Their blades meet. And the sound is deafening. Syria's eyes widen, stunned. Her sword is locked in place, her momentum completely stopped. No way, she whispers, disbelief flooding her voice. With a move so fast it blurs, Ian catches Syria's blade with his bare hand. Stopping it cold, just inches from his face. The air crackles. Sparks dance along the steel. He twists his wrist, and the sword slips free from her grasp. In an instant, she's disarmed. Ian steps in close, his own weapon leveled at her throat. His voice drops low, steady, dangerous. Got you, he says. Then, with a faint smirk, we're back at the turning point. His tone is calm, cold, unshakable. He's made up his mind. He's not running anymore. Not from her. Not from what happened. He'll tear down that pride of hers again, if that's what it takes. Then, snap. We cut back to the real Ian. His eyes widen in shock. That last move, he didn't think. His body just moved. He saw the exact path of her sword, every motion, every opening. And dodged without hesitation. What was that? Even Syria looks stunned, frozen for a second. But she quickly regains her composure, her jaw tightening. She refuses to lose her focus again. Ian steadies himself, regaining control. The fierce golden light in his eyes fades, replaced by the calm, ordinary student once more. He raises his practice sword. Come at me, he shouts. Syria doesn't hesitate. She lets out a sharp cry and charges. I'll destroy your pride completely. Her sword ignites with brilliant blue aura, the energy flaring wildly around her. She swings again and again, furious, precise, relentless. But something's changed. Ian can see it all. Every swing, every movement, he can read them. The angle of her blade. The rhythm of her breathing. The tiniest hesitation in her stance. He moves fluidly, sidestepping every strike with effortless grace. His feet glide across the ground like he's dancing through the storm. The crowd watches in awe as he slips past her final slash, leaving her completely open. He sees it. The perfect opening. He lunges forward. Now! His sword stops. Inches from her face. He doesn't strike. Instead, he grabs her by the collar. The aura around him fades, his breathing heavy but steady. He's fully back to himself again. Syria stares up at him, trembling, unable to process what just happened. Ian looks down at her, a bead of sweat trailing down his cheek. Wait, is this really okay? He wonders aloud. This isn't right. Winning like this won't change anything. It won't fix the past, and it won't stop the cycle. He exhales. This isn't about winning, he thinks. It's about understanding. And then, he does something no one sees coming. He flicks her on the forehead. Snap. Oh! Syria yelps, recoiling in disbelief. From the sidelines, Leto and Celine stare, completely dumbfounded. Did he just flick her? Leto whispers. Celine blinks. What is he doing? Syria glares up at him, confused and furious. What the hell was that? Are you mocking me now that you've won? Ian just shakes his head. His voice is calm but steady. Why are you trying so hard to win against me? She freezes. Then her anger bursts out again, louder this time. Because winning is everything. If I lose, people will laugh at me. Ian listens silently, his expression unreadable. When she's done, he simply asks, is that really what matters? What other people think? He lowers his sword, his tone soft but firm. One loss won't erase everything you've worked for. The time, the effort, the discipline, none of that disappears just because you fell once. Syria blinks, caught off guard. His words hit harder than any strike. For the first time, she looks at him, not as an enemy, but as someone who understands. Syria lowers her gaze for a moment, then admits quietly, you're right, but getting made fun of still hurts. Ian softens. His voice, once sharp and defiant, turns calm, almost gentle. Yeah, he says, it does. But think about it. Would it really be fair for all your effort, everything you've worked for, to suddenly mean nothing just because of what people say? A small smile tugs at his lips, this time, a genuine one. I've been losing ever since I came to this academy, he continues. So, believe me when I say, don't waste your time worrying about what others think. Their words aren't worth your strength. Syria stares at him, stunned by his sincerity. His words sink deep, shattering the wall she'd built around herself. All this time, she'd been convincing herself that her sword, her pride, was worthless. But now she sees it. The effort, the discipline, the belief that shaped her skill, none of it was ever meaningless. A faint but sincere smile forms on her face. I've learned a lot, she says softly, her tone filled with newfound respect. She stands tall again and bows formally. Thank you very much. The crowd erupts. Students shout and cheer, disbelief rippling through the arena. Ian won. He beat the second year's top student, again. The professor's booming laugh fills the air. Ah, to be young, he exclaims, his eyes gleaming with pride. The winner of this match, Ian Purkis. As the cheers echo, Syria makes her silent vow. From this day on, she'll walk her own path, no matter what anyone says. Ian, meanwhile, exhales deeply as he leaves the arena. His steps are heavy but peaceful. Finally, he thinks, maybe this chaos is over. Behind him, Syria watches in silence, a small, genuine smile playing on her lips. She's no longer the same person she was before the duel. Ian grins faintly. Handled, he mutters to himself. But as we all know, things never stay that simple. The next day, the entire academy is buzzing. Whispers chase him through the courtyard. Hey, look, it's him. The rumored Ian Purkis. Is it true he took down Syria Yadina twice? Ian groans internally. Great. He knows the truth, he only won because Syria was distracted, still shaken from what happened before. His own skills are painfully average. So why does it suddenly feel like everyone expects him to live up to some legendary status? He ruffles his hair with a sigh. What the hell did happen during that week? I can't remember. Before he can spiral any further, a familiar voice calls out, bright and cheerful. Ian. Over here. Celine waves at him from across the path. Leto pops up beside her, pouting. Hey! Don't ignore me too. Ian walks over, already exhausted by their energy. You two are loud, even in the morning, he mutters. Anyway, I still have no clue why I got possessed in the first place. Celine shrugs. Relax. The saints from the cathedral said you're fine, didn't they? That means you are fine. Ian sighs. Even if that's true, there are still weird rumors about me everywhere. Leto chuckles, waving it off. Who cares about rumors? It's not like they are bad ones. He grins and nudges Ian's shoulder. Before, everyone saw you as just some low-ranking noble. But not anymore. Now they are terrified of you. Celine crosses her arms with a huff. It used to annoy me when people said you had a nice face but weren't attractive because you were from the countryside. Leto's eyes sparkle. Wait, hold on, that means people did think he was attractive. Celine immediately stomps on his foot, cutting him off with a glare. Don't get ideas. Then she looks back at Ian. Anyway, thanks to your new reputation, even the high-ranking nobles have stopped treating us like dirt. They're scared you'll crush them. Ian rubs his forehead, the same spot still sore from flicking Syria. Speaking of which, is that rumor true? He asks. He groans. There are so many now, I can't even keep track anymore. Leto leans in with a mischievous grin. Leto leans in conspiratorially. Word is, your little admirer's been tailing you ever since that day. Celine groans. Seriously? See for yourself, Leto mutters. Just, don't make it obvious. They both glance sideways, and sure enough, there she is. Syria, crouched behind a tree, wearing a domino mask as if that could fool anyone. Her face is half hidden, her blush doing nothing to help her cover. Leto and Celine stare in disbelief. Is she serious? Without hesitation, Leto storms over and grabs her. Why the hell are you following Ian around? Did you forget he practically beat you to a pulp last time? Ian blinks. Wait, when did this start? 5 days ago. Leto snaps, throwing his hands up. 5 days. I'm losing my mind over here. Celine sighs, giving Ian a look. You'd better talk to her before he explodes. Ian exhales. Fine. He starts walking over. Syria freezes the moment she sees him coming. Oh no, he's coming here. What do? I have to ask him before I lose my nerve. He stops in front of her. Syria, I've noticed you've been following me. Is there something you want to say? She gasps, tearing off her mask like it's some grand reveal. Senior Ian, how did you see through my disguise? He stares. Really? She straightens up, hands clasped tightly. Please. I'd like your guidance. I want to become stronger. Ian's taken aback. She's a lot more respectful than before. He almost smiles. What could I possibly teach her? If we were talking about morals, maybe, but she's already stronger than me. Besides, he's finally gotten his peaceful life back, and he intends to keep it that way. I'm sorry, he says with a polite smile. But I'll have to refuse. Syria's eyes widen. Here? But you beat me, twice. He shakes his head. That wasn't skill. You just let your guard down. I only won by luck. Luck is still a skill, she fires back immediately. Then her tone softens. If you won't train me, at least come with me to the hunting festival. At those words, something clicks. The hunting festival. A flash of memory, the letter. The part about a student named Emma dying at that exact event. Syria continues, I know there's no reason for you to help me, but thanks to you, I just remembered something important. Ian nods slightly. If you want to get stronger, ask the professor, not me. And with that, he turns and runs off. Hey! Where are you going? Leto shouts after him. Ian just waves back. I remembered something I have to do. As he sprints away, his thoughts race faster than his feet. That letter. I didn't believe a word of it. But if Emma's name was really there, I have to be sure she's safe. Could that message really have come from the future? He bursts into the alchemy department, breathless. Inside, a red-haired girl stands over a bubbling cauldron, carefully mixing potions. This must be her. It really is Emma. Ian's expression hardens. If anyone knows something about that strange letter, or the future it describes, it would be her. Outside, the sun beams over the academy training grounds, bathing the field in calm light. The air feels peaceful, a sharp contrast to the fierce duels that had taken place not long ago. In the middle of the arena, Syria trains relentlessly. Her sword cuts through the air in blinding arcs, surrounded by a vibrant blue aura. Professor Derek watches from nearby, arms crossed and a rare smile tugging at his lips. You're improving fast. Keep this up, and you'll have a balanced aura before the hunting festival. Syria lowers her sword and bows. Thank you, Professor. Derek chuckles, shaking his head. Never thought I'd see the day you came to me for help. Syria brightens instantly, eyes shining with pride. It was Senior Ian who told me to ask for your guidance. The professor freezes mid-smile. Why Ian said that? Syria nods with all the enthusiasm of someone quoting holy scripture. She clenches her fists, filled with determination, and bows again before leaving. Derek watches her walk off, a single tear glinting in his eye. This girl still doesn't understand how people work, he mutters, amused and proud all at once. Syria, he calls out. She pauses and turns. There's no need to rush, he says gently. Even that guy only managed second place in his second year. Her eyes widen. I know it's strange for a teacher to tell a student to slow down, Derek continues, but since this is your first hunting festival, I'll give you a hint. Study the southern forest, its terrain, its monsters. The entrance is safe, but the deeper you go, the more dangerous it gets. His tone grows firm. And one more thing, don't go too deep on your own. Lately, stronger beasts have been showing up near the festival grounds. The kind that shouldn't even exist there. The screen fades to the forest floor, dark, soaked in crimson. A silent omen of what's coming. Meanwhile, inside the alchemy lab, Ian sits across from Emma. The room glows softly from potion vials and flickering glass tubes as she walks him through a lesson on mythology. At the dawn of creation, she begins, her voice calm and rhythmic, the heavenly god was born from light. And from the darkness came the evil god. Together with the flow of time, the heavenly god shaped the universe, creating one unbreakable rule: time only moves forward. She looks at him meaningfully. If that law were ever broken, the world would collapse into chaos. To prevent that, the heavenly god sealed time itself under divine restraints. So, if anyone could defy that law, her gaze sharpens. They'd be an enemy of the gods themselves. A being of unimaginable power. Ian's mind flashes with the fiery visions from his nightmare, the voice, the name whispered in the flames. Delphiram. Emma finishes her lecture with a teasing grin. So? You get it now? Ian just stares at her blankly. Yeah, not a clue. Emma groans, stretching her arms dramatically. You're hopeless. You're the one who barged into my room after a month of silence, woke me up, and demanded I explain this, after yelling something like, I'm glad you're okay. He scratches his head sheepishly, smiling. Ian laughs nervously, hands raised in surrender. Come on, cut me some slack. We're friends, aren't we? Emma narrows her eyes. Friends? You only ever show up when you need something. He clasps his hands together, bowing dramatically. Okay, I'm sorry. But you're being way harsher than usual. He gives her the most exaggerated puppy dog eyes he can manage. Emma sighs, the corner of her mouth twitching upward. At least you sound sorry, she says with a reluctant smile. Fine, I'll make it simple for you. She leans back in her chair, tone turning serious. If someone's trying to go against time itself, they'd need ridiculous power, right? Ian nods. Makes sense. Then there's only one being who fits that description, she continues. Delphiram, the servant of the evil god. Ian's brow furrows. So, you're saying the letters I got were sent by Delphiram? Emma gives him a flat look. You really need to start using that brain of yours. Hey! Ian protests. That's what you just said. She rolls her eyes. I said if anyone could do it, it'd be Delphiram. But that's assuming this being even exists. It's just myth. Ian leans forward. Then what about the evil god? What's he doing in all this? Emma crosses her arms with a sigh. No one knows if the evil god's even real. And for the record, you can't get a letter from the future. So do yourself a favor, go back to your room, lock it tight, and stop overthinking. She hands him a few small bottles. Here. Potions. Use them if you get into trouble. Ian takes them, half smiling. As he heads for the door, he mutters under his breath, Man, she's really laying into me today. Still, he can't help but think she's right, he does sound like someone who's lost his mind. Wait, Emma calls out. Before you go, take this too. She holds up 2 glowing blue vials, shimmering like liquid light. These are presence-erasing drugs. My newest invention. Try one. Ian's eyes light up. Whoa! So if I drink it, I turn invisible. Emma snorts. No, genius. It hides your presence, not your body. Before she can explain further, Ian pops the cork and downs the potion in one gulp, only to immediately spit it out. Ooh, that's disgusting. Emma slams her palm on the table. You idiot. You weren't supposed to drink it yet. He waves her off. Relax, I just wanted to see if it works. Close your eyes, I'll hide, and you try to find me. Emma sighs, rubbing her temple. Fine. More test data, I guess. She closes her eyes. The potion's effect kicks in. A faint blue aura surrounds Ian for a moment before fading completely. His heartbeat slows. He can't even feel his own presence anymore. This is unreal, he thinks. It's like I've turned into a ghost. He grins. If I stay quiet, there's no way she'll. Before he can finish the thought, Emma spins around and grabs his wrist in one clean motion. Got you. Ian's eyes nearly pop out. How? How did you even? Emma smirks. Easy. The potion erases your presence, not your scent. You still smell like you. He freezes, horrified. My odor. Emma nods matter-of-factly. Ian slumps in defeat, silently wondering if everyone has their own unique scent they can't notice themselves. I need to fix this, immediately. He grabs the second vial from the table. Good luck with your experiments, Professor Emma. You're terrifying, by the way. As he walks off, shaking his head, he mutters to himself, why was I even worried about her? She's way too strong for her own good. Ian gives Emma a small nod. Good. I just needed to make sure you're okay. Before leaving, his tone shifts, calm, but serious. Listen, don't go into the forest alone until the festival's over. And if you really have to, call me first. Word is, the monsters have been acting weird lately. Emma tilts her head with a faint smile. Is that so? Well then, sounds like the perfect time to put you to work. Ian groans. Yeah. Since I'm free, go ahead, use me as you please. The sun dips low, painting the academy in amber and shadow. The day ends quietly, but the unease lingers. That night, Ian sits on his bed, the mysterious letter spread open before him. The flickering lamplight dances across the words. Damn it, he mutters. Who the hell keeps sending me these? He tosses the paper aside and falls back onto his bed. He's checked on Emma, she's fine. Everything should be fine. Or so he thinks. The door slams open. Leto storms in, fuming. Hey! Where did you disappear to earlier? I had to calm Celine down myself. Ian sits up, startled. Hey! Leto gets right in his face. Do you have any idea how much Emma teased me because of your stupid letters? Ian blinks, confused. Letters? Wait, so you went to see Emma? How's she doing? Leto throws his arms in the air. Forget it. I'll just say you got me this time. But if you come running next time saying someone's gonna die again, I'm not playing along. That's too much. Ian frowns. I asked you how Emma's doing. Why are you rambling? The words from the letter flash through his mind again. Emma will die at the festival. He asks once more, his voice quiet but heavy. Leto, how's Emma? Leto's anger fades instantly. His eyes drop to the floor. Of course she's fine, he says softly. But as the words leave his lips, a chilling image forms, Emma's body drenched in blood, surrounded by a dark, swirling aura. Her lips curl into a faint, haunting smile. Leto's voice echoes in Ian's mind. How could she not be? The truth is far darker than any prank. A bell tolls. The camera shifts. The grand cathedral of the holy nation, its spires stretch toward the heavens, bathed in holy light. A place meant for peace and miracles. But inside, peace has no place here. We're back in the original timeline. Emma lies motionless on a grand bed, her skin pale, the soft glow of healing magic washing over her, but it's not enough. A calm, ethereal voice murmurs, Emmanuel, may God be with you. A ritual blessing, but hollow against the weight of the moment. The speaker is the saintess, a woman whose serene presence commands the room. Her violet eyes are sharp, unwavering. Ian and Leto stand before her, grim and silent. Ian's voice trembles. We found her at the forest's entrance. The scouts think it was a monster. The saintess folds her hands. That area rarely sees monster activity. She must have let her guard down. Her tone is steady, but cold. She's only alive because she drank a potion that made her appear dead. Any later, and even that wouldn't have saved her. Ian steps forward desperately. Then please, your divine power, can it save her? The saintess looks down at the still figure on the bed. Her expression doesn't waver. Divine power is not omnipotent, she says quietly. To perform a miracle, an offering must be made. The offering must be something of high value, the saintess says softly. Ian's eyes widen. But, she's an alchemist's daughter. They don't have that kind of wealth. The saintess shakes her head. It's not about money. The offering isn't material, but it's not something a low-ranking noble can easily provide either. Her words hang heavy in the air. I'm sorry, she continues gently, but you should prepare for the worst. She folds her hands in prayer. Her father will arrive soon, and it will be difficult to explain everything. You should return to the academy. Leave her to us. But Ian doesn't move. His voice is firm, steady. No. I'll stay. The saintess studies him quietly. I was the last person to see her, he says, his jaw tightening. If someone has to tell her father, it should be me. Leto lowers his gaze, unable to speak. The saintess's expression softens with faint pity. This is not anyone's fault. Do not burden yourselves with guilt. She lifts her hand, offering a final blessing. May you find peace of mind. Then she turns back toward the bed, whispering once more, Emmanuel. Outside, Leto slams his fist against the marble wall. Damn it! His voice trembles with anger and grief. Why did a monster show up at the entrance of the forest? She could have escaped. Ian says nothing. He stands still, his heart sinking under the weight of guilt. A piercing cry breaks through the silence. My daughter! They turn. Emma's father stumbles down the hall, his face pale with dread. Ian freezes, a single tear slipping down his cheek. The man grabs him by the shoulders, his voice shaking. Please, tell me what happened to my Emma. You know her, don't you? You were with her. He drops to his knees, overcome with grief. Please, young master, let me see her face. Just once. But even that, the church forbids. For hygienic reasons, they say. Not even her father is allowed to see her. And just like that, everything fades. We return to the present. Leto stands beside Ian, his eyes distant. If only we'd had the power, he murmurs. Or the money for the offering, maybe things could have been different. But they hadn't. Just small, countryside nobles with no influence, no leverage, only hollow words of comfort to give a grieving man. The priests are doing their best, they told him. Lies to fill the silence. Now, in the quiet of the academy courtyard, Ian approaches Emma's father. He holds out a small vial, the faint blue glow of her presence-erasing potion. She gave this to me yesterday, he says softly. It was her newest creation. You should have it, her final achievement. The man stares at the potion, then at Ian. His hands tremble. No, he whispers. You keep it, young master. He grips Ian's cloak tightly, tears streaming down his weathered face. Just promise me one thing, please. Don't ever forget her. Don't forget my Emma. Ian can barely breathe. The guilt presses down like a weight he can't lift. Was there really nothing I could have done? The question burns in his mind. And the answer, silent, merciless, is no. He could have prevented this. He should have taken the letter seriously. Given her a clearer warning. Anything. He didn't know if the message came from the future, or from some delusional prankster. But deep down, he'd felt something that told him it wasn't a lie. Now, standing alone in his room, the letter clutched in his trembling hand, Ian stares at the words once more. Words that had tried to save her. Ian's grip tightens around the letter. His decision is made. If that's the case, then I have to find Syria, the one who wrote this, and make sure none of it ever comes true. A fierce golden light flickers in his eyes as he folds the letter neatly and tucks it into his coat. That's when the door slams open. Leto bursts in, grinning ear to ear. Syria! Don't tell me you actually got yourself a girlfriend? You're not getting catfished, are you? Ian shoots him a sharp glare. What are you talking about? Leto laughs nervously, backing up a step. Wow, I never thought I'd live to see you interested in a girl. Ian grabs him by the collar. It's not like that. I'm looking for the person who wrote this letter. But her name's not in the academy records. Oh, Leto nods knowingly. So it's a fake name. Classic move. What kind of heartbreaker makes you this anxious? Ian's expression darkens. It's not like that, idiot. There's just something I need to ask her. Leto leans in, wiggling his eyebrows. Ask her. Right. You mean confess, don't you? That's the last straw. Bam. Leto goes flying across the room. Fine, fine, he groans from the floor. I'll stop. Ian exhales sharply. Good. Leto slowly gets up, rubbing his jaw. Anyway, moving on, Syria, here? Isn't that the name of a flower? Yeah, Ian says. That's why I don't know if it's real or fake. Could be a nickname, Leto muses. A lot of people up north use flower names. Maybe she's from there? At the mention of the north, Ian freezes. The north, the Yordina family's territory. He turns sharply. I'll ask around. But if it's someone from the north? Leto finishes his sentence with a smirk, pointing toward the window. Then there's only one person who fits that bill. And sure enough, there she is. Syria. Hiding, or trying to, behind a tree again, face pink, eyes peeking out shyly. Ian sighs. Of course it's her. She's the first person that came to mind, and the only one he knows from the snowy north. But if she really was the one who wrote the letter, why would she hide behind a fake name instead of just talking to him? He strides toward her, his patience already thin. You again? I told you to stop following me. Before he can say more, Syria thrusts a heavy pouch of gold toward him. This is compensation for your lessons, she blurts. Ian blinks. That's a ridiculous amount of money. When I asked for your guidance before, she explained softly, I realized it was bad manners not to offer anything in return. He shakes his head. You weren't being rude. And there's no way I can accept that much. But the real question burns on his tongue. Why are you so desperate for my help, anyway? Syria looks down, her cheeks still flushed. Then she lifts her head, eyes filled with quiet determination. Because I don't think there's anyone left who can teach me. Ian pauses, caught off guard. That kind of confidence, she only shows it to me? There's a lot you can learn from people you can't beat, she adds. He sighs, shaking his head. You don't need me. You're already doing fine on your own. But then, One phrase stops him cold. The hunting festival. Syria's voice is tense. If I miss this year's festival, I won't get another chance. Ian's eyes widen. The letter, it said that Syria also joined this year's hunting festival. The connection hits him like lightning. Syria clenches her fists. If I don't become stronger. Ian reaches out and grabs her hand, his expression hardening, all humor gone. He looks straight into her eyes, his voice low and steady. Ian holds Syria's gaze, his voice calm but firm. Syria, let's train together. He has to know. He has to find out if she is the one, if Syria is Syria. A few days pass. Their training sessions have become routine, but one thing is clear, he still hasn't figured out whether Syria wrote the letter. He has, however, learned a few other things. First, she has absolutely no social skills. The nickname the Rude Noble wasn't born from arrogance or cruelty, she's just terrible at talking to people. And second, Syria, he winces mid-spar, rubbing his arm. She doesn't understand the concept of rest. Apparently, high-ranking nobles like her train endlessly, relying on constant doses of healing potions to keep going. Syria is no exception. Ian finds her sprawled out on the ground, drenched in sweat, her breathing ragged. Are you okay? He asks, crouching beside her. I'm fine, she insists, voice shaky. One potion and I'll be good as new. Before she can move, he grabs her ankle gently, but she yelps in pain. See, he says flatly. You're not fine. Potions aren't miracle cures. They don't fix fatigue or joint strain. She blinks at him, almost confused by his patience. That's why you need to pace yourself, he continues, wrapping her ankle carefully. Otherwise, you'll just break down faster. For a moment, the only sound is the rustle of bandages. Then Ian glances up at her. By the way, he says, the other day you mentioned this year being your last chance. What did you mean by that? Why does it matter so much? Syria's expression hardens, her usual bluntness replaced by something heavier. There's someone in the 4th year I need to defeat, she says quietly. And even if she graduates, it won't end there. Ian pauses mid-rap. You could always challenge her after graduation. She shakes her head. No. The longer I wait, the less chance I have. He frowns. What do you mean? Her voice drops to a whisper. If I ever challenge the head of my family, I'll be exiled. Ian freezes. The head of your family? Don't tell me you mean. The image flashes before his eyes, an elegant, golden-haired swordswoman, radiating power and poise. Delphine Yordina, Syria says. My half-sister. The top student of the 4th year. When she graduates, she'll become head of the Yordina family. Ian's brows knit together. But you said you'd still have a chance after she graduates. Syria's eyes glow faintly, burning like frostlit fire. No. My only chance to face her is now, while we're still in the academy.